You guys are so wonderful. Are y'all ready for your headliner? Y'all start clapping right now. Give it up for Josh Johnson.
I don't know if y'all saw everything that's happening with Tesla either. That's crazy stuff. Okay, so basically, if you're not aware, Tesla is an electric vehicle that, you know, rewind just a couple of years was not a political statement at all. It was a car you could buy or not buy. It was just a car on the market that had some stock, and the stock would go up and go down and go up and go down. And then, you know, Elon Musk decides to get involved with politics and gives anywhere from like $250 to I think maybe $270 million to Trump's campaign. And then Trump wins and Elon becomes the president. And so Elon becomes the president, and people don't really know how to feel because this particular thing hasn't happened before. There's always been like millionaires and billionaires donating to campaigns and stuff like that, but this is the most like infused a person has been in like what's gonna happen, and it's very clear in what is self-serving when it comes to like Elon's actions and everything. And so then, you know, inauguration day comes and there's all the fanfare of like this new administration is starting. And there are some people who own Teslas already, like they bought theirs in 2022. And they would tell people, hey, I bought mine in 2022. Like, I don't... Just so you know, I got mine in 2022. I didn't know, and I wasn't a part of, and I was trying to get electric vehicle to help the environment. I didn't know it would be. So, just so you know about me. And then Elon's giving a speech, and then he says, my heart goes out to you. And then he does like a full-on Nazi salute, right? And does it again, for clarity. And there is a part of me that genuinely, when someone buys something, especially something expensive, and then something happens with that company, a part of me does feel for them, because there are people who bought their Tesla in 2022. They might have been sitting in their Tesla when they saw Elon do a Nazi salute like... And now you sitting here, you gotta lease this car. I don't know if y'all saw, but Trump released the JFK files, or at least is starting to release the JFK files, and yeah, it's a lot. He said there's like 80,000 pages or something. I think they've released like anywhere from like 2 to 20,000 already, with more to come and stuff. And I don't know about anybody else, but when it comes to JFK and the conspiracies around his death, those were like some of the first moments that you saw, for at least a wide population of Americans, trust in government and its agencies break. A trust that they've never got back since, where like whole government agencies don't have the trust of the people, because up until then, you know, maybe they classified things, maybe they told the public lies or whatever, but they were things that people felt like they could at least get on with life believing. You know, JFK was the first thing for a lot of people that spawned the real like tinfoil hat stuff, what aren't they telling us sort of thing. And so you would see something like this big release of the files, you know, 20,000 with like 60,000 more to come. And it's kind of crazy that everyone sees that and they're like, nah, I'm good. 80,000 pages. I don't think JFK cares that much. That's 80,000 pages. Game of Thrones isn't 80,000 pages. 80,000 pages is insane. What are you doing? You know, it's like the thing is full. It's full. I've read some of it, and it's full of things that are snapshots of the time that JFK was assassinated in, but they aren't things that people were looking for. When people talk about files that they want released, they're talking about things that probably have been destroyed forever, like some of the autopsy files, some of the coroner's notes, all that stuff like that is not in what's been released. What's been released are the goings on of like Cuba, Mexico City, USSR, and everything. And the one thing that we did find out for sure through the release of the files is that the CIA had a much bigger file and much more knowledge of Lee Harvey Oswald than we previously thought. And they had been tracking his movements and everything. He had been going to these different countries. I'm pretty sure he went to Mexico City for a little bit, and then he went to the USSR. And I don't know if the word is defect, but he basically was trying to leave the U.S., become an expat and join USSR, and even tore up his passport and everything. And the USSR was like, oh, nah. Nah, we good. That's crazy to me. That's someone, you have a CIA file on you and you're trying to move to the USSR, and they are like, you giving off some bad vibes. Like, I don't know what it is, but you creeping everybody out. Like, you stare too much, dog. Like, what are you looking at when you looking over here? It's unsettling. Just take that somewhere else. And so then he came back somehow. Didn't seem like he had a problem coming back, even though he tore up his passport. And then commits the assassination. And then Jack Ruby kills Lee Harvey Oswald. And there were so many people who thought that Jack Ruby's mob ties meant that he was sort of there to close up loose end, that maybe the mob did it. And even now, there are people that say, oh no, the mob did it, Cuba did it, the Soviets did it. I think that when you're going through all these pages and you're reading this stuff that we're learning about how much the CIA and the FBI actually knew and didn't do anything, it doesn't really surprise me. It doesn't do much for me in the way of a revelation. And it's probably just because, because I'm black. Get me? As a black guy, I'm not going to sit here and be like, not the CIA. You mean to tell me the CIA? Next, you're going to be talking about the FBI. Guys, no. No, not at all. Because that's the thing. That's what trips me up too, is all these pages are getting released. There are things that were released during Trump's first administration that were redacted pretty heavily, and then they've been re-released, not redacted, right? Or just one line redacted. So much so that there are people that are actually mad at Trump because they're like, some of that stuff, some of those people are still alive. What are you doing? You know what I mean? And so then, you'll have like one little line that's redacted, and you'll have someone obsess over that specific line because it's not finding the truth for them. It's about keeping the conspiracy going, Because you'll even see, they uploaded it to the archives. You can check it out in the archives right now. They uploaded everything they've uploaded so far. In my opinion, they've done pretty badly. I think they just had a scanner, and they were like, he said today, so... I know it's crooked. He said today. I know. Honestly, I looked at some of the files, some of it, some of the handwriting in some of the notes, whether it's written by a CIA agent or like some politician, some of the notes in there are so bad. Like the handwriting is so bad. I'm like, he did it. Like that's suspicious as hell handwriting. Little thing, little line will be redacted. Oh, that's what they don't want you to see. That's where all the truth is. It's like, look, maybe. I'm not even saying that's not possible. Maybe, but also maybe it's just like an address that makes sure that a person who has nothing to do with this doesn't get implicated. You know, there are all types of reasons to redact something. And it's when people put that much weight on the thing to keep the whole thing going that I'm like, you don't want to know. You want to keep guessing, you know? And don't get me wrong, it's fun to guess. I love guessing. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. Sometimes I'm just guessing. You know? Best way I can describe it is I'm a fight fan, so I watch boxing, I watch MMA and stuff like that, and I watch men's fights, I watch women's fights, and I just kind of follow the fighter and follow their journey and enjoy who I enjoy because I like the person and I like their story, right? And there was this young woman, I do not know if she is from Brazil. I think she is because I'm pretty sure she was speaking Portuguese, and she only speaks Portuguese. She doesn't speak English. So after fights, when someone wins, especially if they don't speak the language, they will do the post-fight interview right there. And they might do another press conference later, but they'll do the post-fight interview. And if they do not speak the language, someone will come out, a translator for the promotion will come out. And in this case, her translator was her coach. So she wins the fight, and it's big. It's the biggest fight that she's won of her career. It puts her in the rankings and everything. And so the announcer walks up, and he's like, "Congratulations on a fantastic fight. Was this win mean to you? It's sort of putting you on the map right now against such a tough opponent." And she speaks for like 8 seconds, and then her coach goes, "Thank you so much, everybody, for watching my fight. I really appreciate it. I worked really hard, and thank you so much for the love." And then she speaks for another 8 seconds, and the coach is like, "Everything that I do, I'm doing for y'all at home, from my town, to show you that no matter what, where you're from, you can make it on the world stage." And then the announcer asks her, what are your future plans? What's next for you? You know, now that you're in the rankings, there's a certain opponent you want to call out. And she speaks even shorter this time, for like 6 seconds. And then her coach is like, "Yeah, the next plans are anybody who wants it, all right? I'm taking heads, I'm taking necks. I want your limbs, give me your arms, give me your legs. If I see you on the street, it's already on, you already know. The best thing you could do is drop out of the division right now, because I'm coming for all y'all's necks. I'm killing everybody, all right? You're gonna dream about me, and then when you wake up, I'm gonna be there. That's on God, okay? I'm killing all of y'all. None of y'all can stop me. None of y'all can touch me. What I did to her was a mercy kill. I'm coming to kill y'all for real. I want your bodies, okay? I'm stacking bodies, all right? And the champ, I'm going to beat the champ, and I'm going to beat the brakes off the champ in her hometown. She's going to bleed in front of her people, okay?" And then they exited the octagon. They went ahead and left, and then there was a fighter, because, you know, fighters watch other fighters' fights, and they'll live tweet it, and he tweeted right after that whole thing. She ain't say all that. And I'm not gonna lie, that's what those redacted lines feel like to me sometimes, where I'm just like, yeah, look, maybe the whole truth is in the one sentence, but maybe it's in the 80,000 pages that nobody feels like reading. Because Trump said he was gonna release JFK files, and he slowly released them over time, I guess. And then there were people that were like, well, why don't you release the Epstein files? The Epstein files are what we want. That's what we're actually focused on. Why won't you release the Epstein files? Is it because you actually knew Epstein? Is it because you might be implicated? Is it because you were on the flight logs? Why won't you release the Epstein files? All right, and then he does release the Epstein files, but what he does is he releases a bunch of files that were already released like last year, and then redacts some of them to make them look like they're newly half redacted files. And then people called it online immediately. They were like, no, this isn't it at all. And then even the people who were like showing it off and like, look at this transparency, then they got mad because they were like, you made us look like idiots. We thought you were releasing stuff you hadn't released before. And so then people called again, why aren't you releasing the Epstein files? So if you're Trump, you know, you're probably sitting here, the only thing you can do is release the Epstein files and hope it's 100,000 pages. Who would have known the only distance between people and getting to the truth was reading? You know what I mean? We want to know. We as a people have the right to know. It's 80,000 pages. I'm gonna wait till the movie come out. But what are you gonna do? You know, Elon's the president. We know he's the president because, first of all, he tell everybody to report to him, sending whole government employees emails, tell me everything you did. It's like, isn't some of that classified? Like, it's wild. You stand in the Oval Office talking about what we're doing. It's like, who is we? Got your son in there. That's how you could tell Trump not the president. Got Elon's son rubbing his boogers on him. I've had a lot of jobs and a lot of bosses. And no boss's child has ever rubbed boogers on me. I will quit before I let your child rub boogers on me. Elon is the face of Tesla. And he's also the face of Doge, this department that's been cutting all these government jobs and gutting a lot of government programs and everything. And I've talked to a lot of people, a lot of people across the political spectrum about Doge, about their actions, and from the time it started to present, right? So some people are like, oh yeah, it's a little bit much now that we're very much on its side. There are some people that still don't see a problem. There's some people that hated it from the very beginning. But one thing that I have not come across, and I only speak for myself, I'm not talking about I can't speak for the entirety of the internet. One thing I've come across is that there is no one who I have come across that says that there's no waste in the government and that they don't want to get to the bottom of what can be saved or what can be put to better use somewhere else. I think that's what generally everybody would want. If you pay your taxes and then you see where money's being wasted, it's like, oh, we have so many people who need that money in other departments, just move it over to them or give it back to the people or whatever the thing is. I don't think people inherently are upset about the idea that there's waste in the government. I know people that work in the government, they're like, this is a little waste. And so all of it comes down to what you cut and how you do it. That's it, top to bottom. That's the only thing anybody could really have a problem with, what you cut and how you do it, right? And I'll be vulnerable for a second. I'll admit to you right now, I've worked jobs. I've worked jobs where I was like, I'm not gonna tell anybody, but like, they really don't need me. Like, as long as they paying, I'll keep showing up, but like... And you end up seeing what happens. Because the thing with whether it's voters or whether it's like rhetoric around how to handle this stuff, there are people who even now genuinely believe, oh, let's get a business person. Let's get someone who's good at business in government so they can run the government as efficiently as they run their business, right? And the problem there is that, like, let's say Amazon, a good example is like, let's say Amazon makes a mistake. And they make a mistake that all of us, everyone here, can acknowledge and see as a mistake. And so as a mistake, their stock drops because they lose some of the faith from their shareholders. Now, we see that drop in the stock, and maybe the mistake they make is they announce that all the cars from now on gonna have 3 wheels. Like, oh, we're gonna save so much money on tires. And we're like, no, you're gonna flip over, okay? And so then you see the stock start to dip because of that lack of confidence. And then for you as a potential investor, even a retail investor, that dip in the stock is an opportunity. You can buy in now. You can buy into that dip, and then when it goes back up, because they realize that 4 is probably best, that you can ride that wave on up. Fair enough. When you crash out a business, when you make mistakes in business, when you run a poor business, you can always start another business. The people who we even look up to as these beacons of industry were all people at some point who had a failed business, right? But the government is not a business, because if you crash out the government, if you make the same mistakes with the government, you don't have a country. And you can't just be like, no, we're just gonna start new America. You know, I used to have like a lemonade stand America, and that one didn't really work out, so I started like a tire shop America, and that still really wasn't it. So then I started this hedge fund America, and now we're cooking. It does not work that way. And you saw what happened. You saw Elon run the government because he's the president. You saw Elon run the government the way he ran his business. When Elon took over Twitter, right? He comes into Twitter and he immediately starts firing everybody because he's like, you're waste, you're redundant, I don't know what you do, I don't know what that is, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. And then a couple days after he took over, remember that brief period where he was like, how do you turn it on? And then someone who still worked there, who he didn't fire, was like, oh, you fired the dude who turned it on. Yeah, you asked me for a list of people to fire. I'm not going to put my name on the list. So And so you see, you end up seeing Elon firing people and then trying to like hire them back real quick and trying to like smooth over the things that he broke that didn't need breaking, you know? And then Doge ends up working the same way. It ends up swooping in and firing a bunch of people and then trying to hire some of them back real quick, and it's chaos. And Elon is the face of it. He's the face of it because we didn't know who else was working in Doge. We didn't know who was essentially like hacking into Social Security, who was going around judges' orders, who was breaking things and going to places they weren't supposed to be because we hadn't figured out how this whole thing was going to work. We didn't know. And then we found out that it was children. We found out they leaked the photos of those people that were high up in Doge that were getting into Social Security and the IRS and everything. And we were like, what? Fresh out of school, I saw one kid's picture who was like high up in Doge doing all the breaking in and stuff. And I was like, Peter Parker? I cannot believe that Spider-Man gonna cut off my grandma's Social Security. So I don't think it was anyone saying like there's no waste, but it's what you cut and how you cut it. You know, I think people would have appreciated like an actual audit. They said that they did one, but usually when you do an audit and you really account for the waste and you really account for what jobs you do and don't need, you don't have to hire anybody back, you know? the amount of people that they fired and then tried to immediately rehire shows that they're not actually being as careful as they should be with the process. Because I'll tell you right now, everyone that has ever fired me stood firm in their decision. I've never been fired and then somebody ran out after me. Hold on. That's my bad. I was wild. I was trying to look good in front of the other employees. You come on back in here. That has never happened. Anyone who has ever fired me has never called me again. But then Elon is the face of them. People don't know what to do. They don't know what to do to express their anger and their disappointment, their frustration about this unelected person gutting these government programs. And you see where people, it's not just like a one-sided thing. It's not just like a liberal thing. You know, there are people who are like, I voted for Trump. I believe in what Doge is doing, but then I'm told that I'm being cut because of bad performance, even though I'm holding right here a performance review for like a month before the election where they said that I was doing great, you know? And so then people across the political spectrum are going to the town halls and they're complaining to the representatives, and the representatives, they're not really hearing them out. They're not really backing them up. So there's even more frustration, and it's bubbling up, and it's bubbling up. And he's the face of two things. He's the face of Doge, and he's the face of Tesla. And so then people go to the Tesla dealership, and he's not there. But people go to the Tesla dealership and they start protesting at the Tesla dealership, and then the stock starts tanking because there are people that are like, being attached to this right now is not a good look, you know? And then people start vandalizing Tesla, start putting swastikas on the Teslas and stuff like that. And then there are people who, you know, bought a Tesla in 2022. They're like, guys, I didn't know. I had no idea. And almost immediately, it felt like almost immediately Trump came to his defense, right? Trump invited Elon to the White House. I mean, he already got an office there because it's his White House. He's the boss. He's the president. But Trump told Elon, hey, bring a bunch of Teslas, park them out front of the White House. We'll do a dealership commercial. This man got in the Tesla. Trump got in the Tesla, was like, everything's computer. Which is not wrong. It's not wrong. I remember my first Tesla experience. You know, I didn't ride in a Tesla for a long time. I heard about it as a car, but I didn't get to be in one, and I don't drive, so I didn't try to drive one or anything. And my first Tesla that I ever got in was an Uber. And so when I walked up, I didn't know about the door. I didn't know the door be all smooth like that. So this is me. Look, I'm admitting for a second. I'm being vulnerable here. I'm admitting for a second that this is me. This is my bad. I was doing too much in my head. I was doing too much, all right? Know that I know that before I even admit this to you. I was doing too much, right? But when I walked up to the Tesla, I thought my driver sucked the door in because I was black. And I was standing there like, never in all my days have I seen this type of racism. I was fierce. It was all smooth and everything. And so finally, driver noticed I'm not getting in the car, so he rolled down the window. I lean over all indignant like... And then he started explaining how to open it. I was like, what do you mean you gotta push to pull? That doesn't even make sense. And then I get it Okay. Got in the Uber, we took off. And this is the thing with the gig economy jobs, right? Is that, how do I put this? There's a social contract we have not written yet on like how much this is like your property versus my time versus our experience, right? And so when I get in an Uber, I'm very respectful of the fact that this person's car. This isn't my car, right? I'm not renting it so it can be my car for a little while. And we're sharing this time together, but it is my time that I'm paying for, so that's what makes me the customer, you know? So I try to not make any waves. I get in an Uber and I'm just like whatever they need to do. Sometimes there are people who start driving Uber very, very early, so they're tired. And so they got to blast themselves with cold air. They have to have their window down. And I'm like, I'd rather that than us die warm, you know? So I don't say anything. I'm like, I'll just be uncomfortable on the way to the airport because that's what's keeping this man awake. And this is the person that showed up to drive me, right? So I almost never say anything. It's a very big deal for me to even try to say anything. And I go ahead and I do it, though. I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry. I'm not like, I usually don't do this or anything. But, you know, I leaned over to him and I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. But could you please, like, touch the wheel? Like... No, I know it's autopilot. I know it's autopilot. You put it in and everything. I just don't know what I'm paying for if we going. Like if we, I'm not telling you how to drive. I'm telling you to drive. Like it would be nice if you did drive. Like, just put a finger up. Make me believe. Just put a finger. And so you see all of these attacks on Tesla increasing, and the stock price dips and dips and dips. And it goes up a little bit. Every once in a while it goes up because there's some people who don't care about any of this at all, and they see it as an opportunity to buy low. And so it'll go up a little bit, maybe like 3-4% here, and then it drops a little bit more, and it's down from its high by a lot. And you've even seen people like in the Trump administration come out and say, hey, if you vandalize a Tesla, we're treating it as domestic terrorism. We're coming for you if you touch a Tesla, right? And it's just baffling because everything that Trump is doing for Elon and everything that his administration is doing for Tesla is exactly what they were supposed to do for the voters. You know what I mean? Like Trump saw that his boy was having a little dip, was like a little bit more broke than he was the day before. He was like, let me help you out. You know what I mean? That felt like a campaign promise that I thought he made to everybody, but apparently he was just talking to 3 people. And even going after people who vandalize a Tesla as domestic terrorism. Like, when do we ever talk about domestic terrorism? You know how much domestic terrorism we have? It's a lot. And then you see Elon go on the news, and genuinely he seems like really upset, like genuinely hurt. And I think it's because, you know, look, he's still the richest man in the world, but he used to be the richest man in the world by a larger margin. Like, he has lost billions and billions and billions of dollars, right? And you know, he's so affected by it. And I think that maybe he's so affected by it because when these things are such a part of your life, they do become your identity. Maybe being the richest man in the world, maybe being seen as this, like, you know, this business guru, this scientific mind, all that stuff crumbles away when the people are not with you, when the people can't stand you, when you've angered them, when they don't want to have anything to do with you, you know. And he sees the destruction, he sees the people turning on him, and he seems genuinely upset. And I don't think his feelings are hurt because some people are mad at him. He's never going to meet these people. I think that when you attach so much of your self-worth to this money and this status, this influence and this power, that even the prospect of losing it can rattle you deep down, right? To your core as a person. And it looks like he's about to cry on the news when he's talking about, I don't know what I did to deserve this. It's like... And look, I'm glad he said that to a camera by himself and not like to a veteran's face. Like you know what I mean? Like he didn't really get that. You know, the dude on Fox was like, you've done nothing to deserve this. You're a true patriot, whatever he said. And, you know, I was sitting here watching Elon get genuinely sad. And I was like, oh. My heart goes out to you.
Milwaukee, make some noise for your headliner, Josh Johnson.
Been very excited. I've been very, very excited. Been highly anticipating a bout that's coming up. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Some of you may have not known that this was going to happen, but in case you didn't, Mike Tyson is going to box Jake Paul, and I'm excited more for the spectacle than the actual fight. I don't know what's going to happen in the fight exactly, but it is one of the wildest encounters of two people punching each other that you could have ever imagined. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, a star, a bona fide star globally of the 80s, fighting one of the most popular influencers that the modern era has to offer. And it just feels like somehow the 80s are fighting the 20s. Do you know what I mean? Like, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul feels like Sylvester Stallone versus Liam Hemsworth. It's like, you're just kind of like, what? How? How are they even close enough in age to have anything to argue about? This is crazy. If you don't know Mike Tyson, I know that some people are too young to have like really watched him fight. I'm too young to have like remembered those fights live. Some of them I wasn't even around for, but I watched the tape and it's devastating. Mike Tyson is one of the most bona fide terrifying people. You know what I mean? Some of the things that Mike Tyson would just say, I'd be like, oh, to even think it, you must be willing to do it. Do you know, like there was a press conference one time where Mike Tyson was sitting there and he's like, this thing, I don't think these guys understand. I'm not here to just box. I'm not here to fight or anything. I'm trying to take their health. Sir. The question was, what has your preparation been for this match? Mike Tyson he's like an embodiment of like everything like fierce, violent, and dangerous in one person that also very much loves birds. And what's wild about Mike Tyson is that from the time that he was young, right, to present, had taken a genuine, not only interest, but maybe an obsession with the way that the world works, understanding oneself and understanding the world and how who you are applies to the world, right? So he said some of the most fascinating things around Alexander the Great, around conquerors, around kings, around how to win a mental battle as well as like a physical one, how war works. He has such an understanding of the world. And then he says other things. Other things that are so scary that you're like, sir, just shoot me. Don't want to have to deal with this, you know? And a lot of it bleeds together because it's not my time, right? I'm not like from that era, but you watch these old compilations of press conferences and interviews and post-fight interviews with Mike Tyson. I was scared for the reporter. Because you have a man who's been training to basically kill a man with his fists, even if it took him 12 rounds, and it took half of one. So by the time you interview him, he's still got a lot of energy. There was one time they were trying to interview Mike Tyson after a fight. They're in the ring with him. They're putting the mic in his face and everything. And he's so amped and he's talking. He's like, y'all don't understand. Like I'm from Sonny Liston's cloth. I'm the most fierce. And he starts describing not just who he is as a boxer, but his training and everything. And then at the end of it, he goes, I don't know, man. What? And I think if I had been the reporter, I'd also be like, nothing. I didn't say anything. Don't worry about me. Mike Tyson press conference was a master class in psychological warfare. He would say things that had you thinking like, oh man, this dude's like out of his mind. Or this dude really wants to kill me and I don't know him. That's gotta be tough as a fighter, to sign up for a fight. And you know we both fight. But one of us loves fighting. And we both like it, that's why we do it, and we're both good at it, that's why we do it. But one of us is so excited to hit, they don't care if they get hit. It's a very different person. Do you know what I mean? Even when you're mad, even when you're angry, and you're like, that's it, let's fight. You're trying to get the aggression out, and you want to hurt the other person. And yeah, maybe you're willing to take a few punches, but you aren't in a fight loving getting hit just so you can give a hit. It takes a different type of person, and Mike is a different type of person. You know? When you look at where Mike Tyson comes from, it's astounding that he made it to where he was. You know, Mike Tyson comes from Brooklyn, was in Bed-Stuy, and then at a young age moves to Bronzeville, and is devastating because it's not the Brooklyn that you know now. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't. There were no cupcake shops. It was Brooklyn in a way that was, let's say the property would be cheap, all right? Like if you were trying to buy, all right? Devastating conditions. And he talks about how there was just, you couldn't even go to the bathroom inside sometimes where they were staying and stuff. And all that stuff can make a hardened person. Because he didn't just have to live in certain conditions. He had conditions waiting for him when he got outside. He talked about it. He had to fight. He had to fight all the time. He had to be ready to be tough all the time. People will test you all the time, right? He talked about his first fight. Because like I said, Mike Tyson loves birds. It's truly one of the sweetest things about him. It's one of the things that like gives you a glimpse into the humanity of a person that's only known as being this fierce beast, right? Loving these birds, being gentle with them, caring for them, spending time with them, you know? Really taking care of them. And when he was a kid, there was a kid who took his bird. And he was like, give it back, give it back, give it back. And give it back, I think give it back genuinely in the way that a kid is asking you earnestly from the bottom of their heart. No, please, 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 please give it back, right? And that kid killed that bird in front of him. And then Mike Tyson, I'm assuming, killed that kid because he at least let him remember what would happen. And Mike would get into trouble, and it's easy to say, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this, right? All those things can be true. Obviously, you shouldn't be robbing people, you shouldn't be selling stuff, you shouldn't be out here with these people who are on a bad path and everything. But when you have what looks like no other option from those things, how can you expect someone to just know? You drive down the path that's been paved, you know? And so he ends up in like detention centers and stuff like that. And at one point, Mike Tyson meets Customato. Customato sees him, and immediately he knows. He knows this kid is special and he's different. And not only just because he's built different, not only because he's big for his age, there's just something about him. And he gets the opportunity to like box a little bit. He goes to the gym, he's hitting bags and stuff, spars a little bit. And Customato sees in something in him. And after sparring, you know, as the story goes, they ask this kid who's just sparred with some grown men, how old are you? And then Mike goes, I'm 13. And then these grown men look at each other and go, this nigga at least 30. Like, there's no way. You better put a 0 behind that 13. That's, what? 13. And Customato, to my knowledge, actually adopts Mike Tyson. Takes him into his home, right? Not just to train him, but to care for him, to love him. You know? Because all this energy, all this fierce potential can really go somewhere if you nurture it, right? And then under Customato's leadership, Mike Tyson does become as fierce of a person as Customato thinks he can be in the ring. And Cus believed in him before he believed in himself. I think that's why their friendship, that mentorship is like, when you see it, there's something special about it. Because anyone who sees anything in any of us and pulls it out of you, right, just with their belief, that's a very special thing. And the only people that wish Customato hadn't done what he did are probably Mike's opponents. Because Mike would have fights that were so damn fast. You can see it even in the video, even in some of the amateur fights that were actually on video. You can see in the opponent where they were like, does he have a hammer? What is he doing? That really hurt. No. And then Mike gets older. Mike becomes world champion. Youngest world champion, right? In there with a boxer with real experience, who's also a special fighter, right? But Mike hits him in a way that maybe he's never been hit before. And if you go back and you watch the video of this knockout, I shouldn't laugh, but Mike didn't just knock this dude out. Like, he didn't knock him out cold, right? This dude gets knocked down again, and he's trying to get up, and you can tell that his body is like, dog, we done. Don't. No. You know, like when you're in a bar fighting, your buddies hold you back. That was that guy's whole body. Like, you can even hear the announcer be like, "Oh, he's fighting to get up, but his body won't let him," because his body is like parts of him that didn't get hit. This dude got hit in his head and the chin, and even his feet and his knees and his hips were like, "Look, if you ever want to speak to us again." Don't stack us up on top of each other right now. You need to sit down. And then Mike Tyson becomes world champion. He becomes everything that Customato thought he could be. He becomes everything that he knew he was, right? It's a beautiful moment. And then it's important when you think of Mike Tyson to understand that Mike Tyson is America. A lot of Mike Tyson's story is how America works, right? There are parts of this country that if you travel to, you'll think you're in another country for how poor they are, how broken, the conditions that people are living in. You know, it looks like the developing world in some parts of America, and we don't like to talk about it. We especially don't like to take care of those people because it means we have to really look at ourselves to do it. But there are people that come out of those conditions that build themselves up into something that no one else could have imagined based on where they started, right? Mike Tyson is just like America. Mike Tyson is fierce, fearsome, you know, incredibly violent. People in other countries look at America the way that we look at Mike Tyson. Genuinely, if you travel, and I mean really travel, I'm not talking about just go to the tourist spots and the places that are popular to go. If you really travel and you know world history and you go to a place and you ask them about America, right? A country that we've attacked before, you know? They look at us like we have a tattoo on our face. Mike Tyson, builds himself up, and he doesn't just get the world championship. He has some very, very impressive fights where you can average his whole fight time out to like maybe a round and a half. He's beating people so fast it's actually upsetting the crowd. I know people who paid a lot of money to go to a Mike Tyson fight and went in the bathroom at the wrong time. Sit there the whole fight card holding it, and then you're like, oh, he's only walking out, I got a second. And then from the bathroom you hear, oh. You're like, oh no. I mean, then Mike goes down a downward spiral. He loses Customato. He loses this person that was a mentor, that was a friend, you know? And he tries to find his way, but he's still very young. People forget how young he was when he was Mike, when he was Iron Mike, and he was fearless and he was undefeated, and starts, you know, getting lost in it. And he'll tell you that. He's talked about that. He got lost, right? Goes to jail at one point. Like, this dude is on a dark path, you know? And even, I mean, this is attributed to Mike Tyson. I don't know if he actually said it like this, but he was like, I was a baby. And you gave me millions of dollars to punch people in the face. And you didn't think this was going to go off the rails somehow? Like, you didn't think that this was a bad idea, maybe? No. That's who's fighting. This guy who's relentless, you know? So much fear. Imagine you're in the ring with Mike Tyson and he won't stop staring. Just the face-off, just watching the face-off, you would see it in his eyes. He's like, I would very much like to hurt someone today. And legally, it's you. And he was fast, and his movements were jerky, but they were quick, and they clearly hurt, because some very big men did not get up. He would hit people so hard sometimes that you'd be like, I think that guy's dead. And then he'd twitch, you'd be like, he's all right. That's who's fighting. And then you have Jake Paul. One thing people need to understand about Jake Paul, if you don't, he's very much, we are in Jake Paul's time. Whether we like it when I say that or not, he's having his Mike Tyson moments right now. World famous around the world. People tune in from around the world. They watch his fights, they watch his YouTube videos. This dude is a true bona fide star, right? And we can argue about if he's as popular as Mike was back then and why the internet is different, but he is very popular. You know, and he loved boxing. He feels like boxing saved him. That's something similar that he has with Mike, because this kid, he got a camera from his dad, him and his brother, when they were young, and it was to film themselves while they were doing football so that they could improve, right? Which I don't know how that works. I don't play enough football. Like, if I did that and tried to tape myself playing football to improve, I think I would just be like, this is where I got hit. And this is when I hit the ground. I think that's all I did. I don't know if, was that right? Is that how you do it? And so him and his brother start making videos, like little YouTube videos, whatever. They're putting them online. They're getting some looks every now and again. But then Vine came out. And if you don't know what Vine is like TikTok granddaddy. And they start making Vines, and they get very popular almost overnight. They are huge on Vine. Everybody thinks they're funny, and they love to follow them. They want to know what they're doing next. They're getting all this money, endorsements, everything. At one point, Jake Paul is on the Disney Channel. I don't really know what he was doing, but it was quick. And then they start posting on YouTube, and they start getting millions of subscribers on YouTube. These kids are bona fide popular, and they understand something that maybe the rest of us just don't, and that's why they are where they are. They understand internet culture. They understand marketing and business. They understand the way that the world is turning, right? And it's the age of the influencer, right? And a lot of people want to be influencers. Some people don't want to be. You can accidentally become famous, and that's a terrifying thing. You become famous in a way that you really didn't mean to, you know? You're just living your life. But somebody puts a cell phone on you, or you don't know you're in someone's shot, and you trip weird, and you go, and now you're, like that's who you are as a guy. And then people see you in the world, and they're like, hey, we love you, dude, we love, that's our favorite. Man, keep killing it, dog, keep killing it. But before you know it, just one thing, just one meme, just one moment catapults you to this level of fame that no person can be prepared for. Whether you're Mike Tyson in the 80s or you're Jake Paul now, people don't understand that like fame that you weren't even trying to get can mess with your mind, right? And so Jake Paul was on a dark path as well. He was probably headed for a bad place, and then he started boxing and he loved it. And boxing to a degree saved him. And so he's out here boxing, you know? And at first he starts fighting like YouTubers, like fellow YouTubers, because that garners attention. Because sometimes you see two people who don't like each other, and you're like, man, it would be kind of funny if they fought. And this is the thing about us. We as people love a fight. Whether we like to admit that about ourselves or not, we love a fight. I've been walking down the street and seeing kids on the park sinking threes from far away, Steph Curry level, right? And I'm like impressed, and I maybe watch him do two more, and then I'm like, he's getting it in. He'll be fine. But if I see a fight in the park, I stop. Because I'm wondering, you know? But no, we're in this age where I think people sometimes want to be famous more than they want to do something. You know, and that's where you get some of these things, some of these imitators of Jake Paul, of Logan Paul, and stuff like that. There was a kid whose story, like, it blew my mind. Basically, there was this kid doing these pranks, and they were like barely pranks. It was just being obnoxious. It was just being like horrible to people and messing with people to try to get a reaction out of them. Because not only are we the new like influencers, everyone, all of us, all the time, it could happen to any one of us, but because of how people become influencers, because of how people get popular, they are our paparazzi now. You're just living your life, but now you're in someone's video and they're trying to make you act a certain way. That's not what we signed up for, you know? You should at least be rich to have that happen. And so this kid was making this video, and he was messing with this guy in the mall, and he was following him around. And he was just like, not just being annoying, he seemed like to also be intimidating him a little bit. And he was really following him, trying to get him to answer some question or something. And finally, this little guy, he's like a very small guy, and he did not look well, right? He finally goes, stop, stop, stop. And then he pulled out a gun and shot him. And I am praying that's not him. This dude pulls out a gun and he shot him. There's this loud bang in the mall and people start screaming and running and everything. But from the vantage point of like the person who, because he posted it himself, the kid, the influencer who's making the prank video, posts the thing and he's coming at him and the guy's like, stop, 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 bang. And then as soon as you hear the bang, this kid, the prankster goes, oh! And to be fair, there's no cool way to get shot. But he goes, oh, and he hits the ground, and that guy walks off, and obviously he gets arrested and everything. They explain the situation. I believe he got released. And then this kid goes to the hospital. He's fine, right? He's fine. He got shot in the side, and he's fine. But when they ask him about it, they ask him how he feels about the fact that this thing happened. Like, is it change how he's gonna make content? He got more followers from it happening because it got on the news and people wanted to see the kid that got shot and they wanted to see the other stuff that he did. So he did get more popular, right? And they wondered how he felt towards the gunman. This guy shot you and you were being annoying, but did you deserve to be shot, right? And then this kid sitting in his hospital bed, his dad, by the way, is furious. His dad is like, there are people saying my son deserved to be shot. My son's just a kid, right? And this kid sitting in his hospital bed, when he's asked these questions, goes, it is what it is, dog. Like, which I can't tell, is that a good attitude about it? But it lets me know it's not just a few people. It's not just a few individuals. We're in an age, and it's an age of if I can be popular, maybe I can be safe, maybe I can be liked, maybe I can be something, whatever it is. But it's apparently worth being shot over for some people. And make no mistake, Jake Paul is America. I don't know how it feels to have me say that, but Jake Paul is America. A lot of what America embodies is what Jake Paul is, right? America is business, usually business first. We can worry about being a country later. It's business, and it's fame, and it's money, and it's influence, right? You go to some of these backdoor meetings that some of these world leaders have when America convinces them to do something. We don't know how they do it. Maybe it's with money. Maybe it's with other things. Maybe they're like, hey, look, we'd hate for something to happen to your whole island. Influence. See what I mean? And so now you have these two boxing, and people don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, there are people that want Mike Tyson to hurt Jake Paul very badly. And then there are people who just want to see a fight. They just want to see what it would look like. You know what I mean? They just want to see what it would look like if, like, that guy from The Breakfast Club fought Timothy Chalamet. Like, just... They just want to see two generations go at it. You know? Because let's be honest, it's an odd fight. You know, Jake Paul has fought former MMA fighters. He's fought former NBA players. He's fought YouTubers. He's fought one established boxer, maybe two pro boxers that I know of, right? Because I don't know his entire record. But he said that the thing that made him do this, the thing that made him push for it and create it, was he did some ayahuasca. And when he did the ayahuasca, he said he saw himself fighting Mike Tyson. And if I'm being honest, taking ayahuasca and seeing yourself fighting Mike Tyson sounds like something Mike Tyson would say doing ayahuasca. Like,
I could more clearly see Mike Tyson doing ayahuasca, and he's like, I saw myself fighting Jake Paul. I don't know, man. I had to think to myself, you know, if I did ayahuasca and I saw myself fighting Mike Tyson, I'd probably have to sit back and be like, maybe heroin's the answer. Like, I don't know. This ayahuasca is not it for me. No, thank you. You know? And so, as soon as he had that vision, though, he put it into motion. And that's the marketer, that's the businessman, that's the promoter in Jake Paul. He saw this thing and he had to create it. That's also America, by the way. You go to other countries and you're like, oh, I have this big dream of doing this thing. A lot of countries are set in their ways, right? America is properly crazy. We'll let you do anything, fundamentally. And so now they have a press conference. They're together, and Jake Paul's very good at being the heel, you know what I mean? But it's hard to be the heel when you're fighting Mike Tyson. Like, people might be booing you, but he's saying truly upsetting things. Mike Tyson was in a press conference one time, and he was like, look, all I want is for his kids to be watching us fight and see me beat them so bad that they're like, Daddy, no. Hearing Mike Tyson quotes out loud genuinely makes me want to learn Tai Chi. So in case I ever come across Mike Tyson, I can look like I'm about to fight him while also backing up. Like, and some people think that the fight's just a spectacle. Some people think it's a real fight. There are kids who think Jake Paul's got to beat Mike Tyson, right? Jake Paul's a great boxer. Let's see it happen. I'm so excited to see Jake Paul whoop this guy. There really are both sides to this thing. And it's going to be on Netflix, which who knows if that's a mistake. Do you know what I mean? Who knows if they fight and then one of them dies and we're just sitting there like, so... Are we accomplices, or just sitting there, stoic, don't know what to do next, and Netflix is like, are you still watching? Not now, man. You know? And it's a gamble as well. It's a gamble. Is one of the biggest gambles we've seen, because Mike Tyson is, to some degree, putting his legacy on the line. He's one of the most fierce fighters that's ever lived. People talk about Ali and Tyson. When they talk about boxing, they don't really know anything about it. You know those names. And then Jake Paul's putting something on the line, too. It's like, I had this idea, I had this dream of fighting Mike Tyson, and maybe I'm just out of my mind and I'm going to be hurt very badly. And Netflix is putting something on the line because it's like, will people watch? Will someone die? It's a genuine gamble. And if America is anything, it's a proper gamble. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we do. I don't know. I admire an aspect of what Jake is doing, because Jake loves boxing. And no one will probably ever give him credit for it, but he is revitalizing a part of boxing. People talk about boxing a little bit more now because of the popularity that he brings in, the new kids that he brings in, and he's putting himself on the line because he loves boxing. And that, to me, is wild. Like, I love hip-hop, but I wouldn't try to battle Kendrick Lamar. Like...
So we did it. We made it.
we're all still alive. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. Things are a little bit better now. Like, you sit in October, things are a little bit better. It's still not great, not feeling wonderful, but, you know, it's not March. You remember March? Remember when this was over? You know? Oh, even doctors were like, you may want to get your affairs in order. This is very bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not proud of it, but in March, I panicked and I bought an axe. I don't know what I was planning to do with the axe. I just wanted to have it just in case I needed it or something. I went to Home Depot to get my axe, right? And apparently a lot of other people had the same idea as me, because when I got to Home Depot, all of the reasonable size axes were taken. So my axe is far too big. It's what, like, I'm not big enough to wield my own axe. It's like a two-person act. Like, even if someone broke into my house, I would grab my axe and it would take me a second. Be like, hey, if you just give me a little bit of space, and 2 minutes, you're gonna be fucked up, all right? Head chopped off, everything. Just give me a minute.
Welcome to the Josh Johnson Show. Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Doing all right. That's fine.
I'm doing well, man. How are you? Yes.
Yeah. You know?
I am here and I am alive.
Yeah. Okay, so, and this is not, you know, I understand this isn't gonna resonate with a lot of people, but have you ever, 1 second, sorry. Have you ever been through like a major storm?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what were some of the major storms that you went through in life so far? Do you remember them by name?
No, because the ones we get in the Midwest don't get names because they just happen a lot. You just get tornadoes and you get blizzards. There was in Chicago, the polar vortex. That was a big one because that was where it was like crazy cold, like a lot of snow, but also like the coldest it had like ever been in like 100 years or some shit. But so that's the one that had a name. But otherwise, out here it's just like reason to get in basement is what you that's what you get around here.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like they can't know that stuff. They can't know it's like the worst storm in 100 years and it hasn't been this cold. It's like whenever they say that, I'm like, what are you going by? Like, I understand
records. They have records.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, there's just, I don't really trust our Doppler
numbers,
radar against like someone who was just using like a regular mercury thermometer back in 1902.
Well, they don't always go with that. But I mean, thermometers haven't really changed in how they work. So if it's like, if it reads -7, it's -7. Like, that's not, just because it's digital doesn't mean it's different.
I understand, but you can't tell me that the first thermometer that somebody made, they thought to go negative.
Well,
do you see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that like when I looked at thermometers when I was a kid, it started at 0. I never saw it go backwards.
Sure, but also the question is, we're using a Celsius thermometer because that's different too.
Yeah, but they still tell us in Fahrenheit.
Right, I know, but I'm saying it would make sense if your thermometer ended at 0 if it was Celsius, because that'd be freezing in Celsius, you know.
Yeah.
Listen, I understand the point you're trying to make. You're an idiot, but
no. You do this all the time. Whenever I'm like on to something, you're like,
you are not onto something.
Your thing is dumb, but I somehow don't have a rebuttal.
Because my rebuttal would be the boring nature of just getting into how the like weather records are kept. I used to work in TV news, so I worked with like meteorologists and stuff too.
I'm just
Part of why they
yeah.
always say it's our worst storm in 100 years because that's where our records go back to. It's not because they're like, oh, definitely this is the one. It's just that's like they've been keeping those meteorological records since that time. Yes, predictions have gotten different, but they can, after the fact, they know how to, like, measuring how a storm affected after the fact hasn't changed much. Like there's other stuff, but like they know like, oh, like precipitation, that way of measuring has existed for a long time.
I'm totally with you.
Sure.
I'm just saying, I'm not even talking about predictions. I'm talking about like when they say, oh man, nothing is hit this hard in like 200 years or whatever. Even the records, I'm just saying the records were kept in a way that was poorer than what we do now. So then I'm like, okay, now this being the worst storm in 200 years, the record from someone being like, well, this barn got blown clean off. So like, this is the worst storm I've ever seen. And then you track that all the way down to like present day where it's like, oh yeah, it knocked over a cement building.
They don't measure storms by buildings.
Hey, you don't know what they were doing back then, all right?
Yes, we do have the records of how they measure.
Nah, the records, okay.
See, and then this is what you do. When I have valid points, you just go, nah, and repeat what I say,
I don't go,
but in
nah,
a dumb
I go,
guy
nah,
voice.
nah.
You go, nah. Ooh, building. Like that's how you respond. And you always act like that's a valid rebuttal.
100%. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You're a confident fool. That's what you are.
No, you are the fool. All right.
You're the fucking fool.
You are a fool. Okay.
You are a goddamn fool.
Remember that. All right. Before you go to sleep tonight, remember, I'm a fool. Before your eyes close.
I think every time I
Foolishly,
sign on to these
I am a
calls, because I'm like,
fool.
this is what I've done. This is what I've chosen to do with my life.
You are a fool.
You're a fucking fool.
You fool. Remember that. So anyway, the whole reason I bring it up is because there was this storm. Let me see. I think it was Kansas. There was this storm that hit Kansas really bad.
This is
And this
like recently?
No. This is years ago.
Okay.
But
I was gonna say if it like just happened, cut in this part because this just seems rude.
No. Just hear me out. So basically, the storm hit Kansas, right?
Yeah.
But you know how when you're little and your mom will take you with her to the hairdresser or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a thing that I remember from when my mom took me to the salon with her and all these women were talking and stuff like that. And there's nothing to do but read magazines that I also don't care about. Like the magazines at the salon would have like maybe a Teen Vogue once in a while, and I could see what Avril Lavigne was up to. But outside of that, it was who was like, who was leaving who for who in Hollywood and all this stuff that I just at like 8, I didn't care about. But I remember this story that this woman under the dryer was telling, and I remember because she was telling it loud as hell, because you can't hear yourself as well when you're under the dryer. And there was this storm that was happening in like Kansas or something. And it was really bad. It was like make national news bad, right?
Yeah.
And this guy was supposed to be in Kansas on business. Okay. And his wife, so they don't live in Kansas, they live in some other state. But his wife sees the storm, because the storm happened like truly out of nowhere. Like I'm pretty sure it was a tornado, but it like there was really no warning. It wasn't like something that had been building or like the fronts were looking like it was going to develop or something. It was just came and went in like a matter of several hours,
Right.
And so that night when the storm was hitting and it was like making the news that this thing was happening, his wife was calling, right? Then the next day she can finally get a hold of him and she's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Like blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, babe, I'm fine. What's the problem? And this storm happening and him being fine and not knowing what she was talking about is how he got caught with another family. This dude had another family. So
another secret family.
another secret family. And this is also my first.
I had a feeling. I didn't want to call it out. I'm just like, this story ends with affair or secret family, because that's where a lot of these these stories end.
A lot of these people not being in danger, usually with another family, and then they're in danger when they get home.
But they're in danger. Yes.
Yeah. But basically, I remember her yelling this story, right? And I don't know why it caught my attention, but I was just kind of like, that's like something. You know, I didn't know what cheating was back then. I didn't know what any of the
like
things were.
something.
Yeah, but I was just like, the way that she had captivated the salon, I was all right, this story clearly means something, you know?
Yeah. There's something good in this. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel that.
And then, you know, as I got older, I was like, oh, okay. Secret family.
Oh, secret families. That's good stories. I'm gonna make a podcast out of that.
Yeah, you really can't have them like you used to. You know, really can't.
We've talked about that.
No,
We've
I
talked
know.
about
Yeah,
that. I'm surprised when anyone. I just saw it. I didn't read the whole story, but it was a news headline that it was a guy. They had found a dead body like in a store or something like that. I can't remember what the detail was. And then they identified the body, and it was the body of a guy who had faked his own death to disappear from his family like 10 years earlier. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I saw that when I was just like, man, it's hard to fake your own death and disappear too these days. Like that's
yeah. It not only that. Do you remember that Runaway Bride from like 2005?
Oh, vaguely. Yeah.
And we were all, that was the most missing a white woman has ever been. Like that was that was truly wild, because I remember it must have been her family that paid for that billboard, but they did something initially that was big. I remember because they used to always cut to the billboard when they would do the story.
Yeah.
And it was truly wild. And then when they were like, oh, she's been like, she essentially gone girled herself, but it was because she got cold feet for her wedding, I think, or at least that's what like the prevailing narrative became.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I vaguely remember that story, but I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy to fake your own death, have that secret family anymore. The good old days are over.
It's also like
used to just say, "Oops, I'm dead." Just leave, a pile of rubble somewhere, and then go to the town over and go, "I'm Brian here." Used to be able to do it that way.
I gotta look up when did Runaway Bride come out?
The movie would have came out late 90s or like 2001 or 2 or something like that.
Because people started calling her the Runaway Bride, because like once they found out the whole thing. But it's like you can't not want to marry this dude that bad. It was one of those things where, okay, but you could at least let your family know you're all right.
Yeah. Or like somehow,
like just call your mama is all I'm saying. I'm not.
Or the life you're running away from is already a second life. You know what I mean? Like it's like they were getting married,
so funny.
And then the invitation from that got to one of the people who they're in witness protection from, and it's just now it's just a mess. Now it's just a string of runaways.
Mm.
I did think of another while you're looking that up. I thought of another storm. Mm-hmm. I think I'd just gotten back to Iowa. Oh, no, yeah, I was here. I lived here with Jess when it happened. But there was a storm. It was called like the derecho a couple years ago in Iowa. That is like, it's not a tornado, and it's not technically, it's not any other type of storm. It's literally just really, really hard winds happen at an instant and just level shit. Like, you want to talk about barns get knocked over. Like that, like fucked up Iowa. It was like a national emergency too. And like that was one of those things where like I didn't know that could happen. Like it was alarming to be like, oh my God, my state getting hit so hard, and then also being like, wind can just do that out of nowhere in the middle of the country, because it's like hurricane force winds just suddenly. And I'm like, I don't care for that shit at all. No, thank you, Mother Nature.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
Thanks for that dropping.
No, I'm just saying. It's like the way that you were describing it, I was like, yeah, I don't know what I would do. I'm not like when I saw the movie Twister, I was like, oh, that's not gonna be me.
But at least you can like see those coming in the sky. You know, you can see twisters beginning. Like the derechos or derecho, I forget how they pronounced it. Like that. Because one of my favorite things about being in a landlocked part of the country, you know, in the middle here, is we don't have hurricanes. And then I was like, shit, we can get hurricanes? I didn't know that. I didn't know we could just get that now.
It is like, yeah. What do you call it? Is it the boom cyclone when it's like a tornado of snow?
I'm not sure what that's called. Snow clone?
I'm sorry that I asked. Yeah. Okay, I found it. So Runaway Bride came out in 1999.
99, okay.
Then
I said late 90s. I did say late 90s.
This Runaway Bride was in 2005. So still when
You nailed that though. You said 05.
yeah, this is
This one stuck with
wild.
you.
Yeah, it really did because it's like this is dumb. This part is dumb. I can admit this
Sure.
is dumb. But when I was a kid, I'd hear and see so many things like this that I thought there were way more people. I thought there was an epidemic of people faking deaths in this country. Like you would see a couple of these a year, like a couple of these Runaway Bride things a year in different formats, like whether it was like a dude pretending he died for
Right.
the insurance money and trying to collect it or whatever. And so you'd see it so much that in my head I was like, man, nobody really out here dying. Like
For a second, I thought you just meant like anybody that went missing, you assumed were faking their death or faking their disappearance.
no, I'm just,
Like you see a milk carton with a kid on it, you're just like, man, he had some responsibilities. He was
yeah, he didn't do his homework. Like, he was like, I'm not doing this physics stuff. I'm out.
No, I'm just gonna start fresh somewhere else. I'm just gonna move to another town and say I'm just a short guy.
Oh, she didn't fake being missing. She faked being kidnapped.
Ooh, that's even better.
Let me see. Okay, 1 second.
Yeah. Let's dig into this. Let's dig into this. This late breaking news story from 2005.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it says so. Her name.
We're talking Twisters and Runaway Brides, and it's not a 90s movie roundup. That's it.
It's her name's Jennifer Wilbanks, and her husband Greg Hudson split in April after 11 years together. And
Damn.
this is from 2000. Oh, it's from last year. It was supposed to be a lavish wedding with 28 members of the bridal party. And
Wait, what do you mean it was from last year? What do you mean by
this
that?
article's from last year.
Oh, this is just like a recapping of the story.
Yeah. This recap is from
Okay,
last year.
okay.
So right now
Gotcha.
I'm reading from people.com.
Oh, reputable news source.
Yeah. Just shout out to People. Okay.
Casting the widest net in news.
Yeah.
Oh, we cover people.
She was only out for like 3 days. That's insane. Let me see. Okay. All right.
What do you mean out for 3 days?
So I think this whole thing happened within a week. This wasn't like a weeks long search for
Didn't
her.
overstay its welcome.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go. It was supposed to be a lavish wedding with 28 members of the bridal party and more than 600 guests. But just
Did you say 28 members of the bridal party?
yeah,
Hey, this is a message to everyone out there. Don't fucking do that. Have like 4. Jesus Christ.
but look,
That shit's
every
stupid.
bridal party. I'll tell you right now. Look. I'll tell you to the camera. Don't listen to Logan. All right, have enough members in your bridal party to jump them in a gang. Okay, you want to be part of the bridal party, you gotta get jumped in. Okay.
28 members. That's a family. Just have a family. I don't know.
But just
It probably means more than just groomsmen and bridesmaids. It's probably just like whoever else. They're like, well, we got to give, cousin Sophia needs something to do. Otherwise, she's going to cause a fucking thing all day. So
yeah, she's gonna pout.
Someone tried to put me as because they felt bad not making me a groomsman. They wanted to put me in as honored guest, and I said, "Do not do that, because that makes no goddamn sense." That is honor. If you do one, I've never heard of that before, and if you do that, I better be an 100-year-old man who lived through 3 wars.
Yeah,
I gotta be someone they're surprised is there.
If you out here making me an honored guest, we will be enemies after that.
Yes. I can't just be some guy.
Just days before the April 2005 nuptials, the bride vanished without a trace, sparking a nationwide manhunt.
Notice how it wasn't a search, it was a manhunt.
Yeah. Her distraught family made the rounds on morning news shows and cable networks, pleading for her return and saying that she wasn't the type of person to run off. But they were wrong. People knows how to like tell a story, because what people will do is that they'll leave you on a cliffhanger in the paragraph, put an ad. So right in the middle of she wasn't the type of person to run off, there is an ad for a Grinch hoodie for the holidays. And then as you scroll past the ad, but they were wrong.
Well, you'd hope they know how to structure it. They've had 17 years to cook up this article.
Yeah. Jennifer Wilbanks, then 32, was found 3 days later in Albuquerque, New Mexico. She claimed she had been kidnapped by a Latino man and a Caucasian woman while she was out for a run. She later recanted that harrowing story, admitting she'd actually fled Georgia on a bus because of personal issues. The wedding was called off, and she and fiance John Mason soon broke up. The case garnered international headlines, and Wilbanks was dubbed as the runaway bride. Wilbanks was criminally charged for lying to police, eventually pleading guilty to a felony count of making a false statement and receiving 2 years of probation, 120 hours of community service, and ongoing mental health counseling. A judge also ordered her to pay the sheriff's office $2,550 to cover some of the costs of searching for her, which this is too far. Because this is what I will say. As much money as the police waste not solving crime, you can't then just put the tab on the last person to get caught. You know what I mean? That's like when everybody's speeding and they finally catch the person at the back of, like, at the caboose. And now that person is like, oh, well, I got to give you an extra fast ticket because I couldn't catch the fastest guy.
I don't think that's how it works.
$2,550 is pitch and pennies. All right, it could have been an even $2,500.
I mean, that's also not much for making a potentially nationwide search for somebody, and then you made it up. I mean, I get that. I understand that. And frankly, I'm surprised it wasn't more. $2,000. That's shit. I'll run away and fake my disappearance right now for $2,000. You kidding me?
That's wild. Okay, yeah. No, I'm with you. Fine.
You made it like 200,000. Like shit, man. Don't do that. But now it's like shit. I might fake it today.
But this is why it bothers me. She also agreed to pay $13,250 to the city of Duluth, Georgia, to help pay for the overtime costs the city incurred searching for her. Right. So it's like you got to pay the sheriff specifically for their little $2,500. And what's the $2,500 for, really? Because you didn't find her. So whatever y'all were doing wasn't working.
Feeding all them search dogs.
Get them off as prime rib steaks, okay? Start feeding them like regular dogs.
I'm just saying, I got a dog with prescription food. You kidding me? That shit's expensive. They make it a fleet of working dogs. I don't think they call it a fleet, but...
And now, 16 years later, Wilbanks is quietly living in Gainesville, Georgia, and working as an HR director at a telecommunications staffing agency where she has worked since 2015. You need to tell me all this.
She's in there as an HR person being like, listen, you can't run away from this conflict, and everyone being like,
Can't I?
Can't I, though? I feel like I can at least for a couple days. Don't you think, Steph?
She can at least never, call someone out for calling in sick when they weren't sick. That's one where it's like, you got to let it go.
Bro, you couldn't win an argument with your family ever again.
Yeah.
Because if she's ever just like, well, remember when you did this? Then it'll be like, do you remember when you made us thought you were kidnapped for 3 days?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
And
not to mention the wedding we fucking paid for.
Not just 3 days.
That didn't happen.
3 very important days. You didn't just get kidnapped on a Monday. All right. You pretended to get kidnapped while we were all gathered there to celebrate you.
All gathered there with rented clothes.
Yeah.
And then we had to go searching for you.
Nobody owned the pants they searched for you in.
Yeah. No one had a search tuxedo. No one's got one of those ready to go.
And if you do, you're a murderer. Okay.
If you do, you got bodies.
Yeah. Okay, Will Banks fell in love again in 2010, this time with Greg Hudson, who owned a landscaping company. The couple got married, but people has learned that they quietly divorced in April. According to
they still got married?
No, this is a different guy.
Oh, different guy.
Yeah,
okay.
different guy. And
when did they, not to go through all of her shit again, when did they get married? I'm sorry.
They got married in 2010. So it's like, you got 10 years in there. That's not bad.
Yeah.
According to online court records, Greg Hudson filed for divorce in March and uncontested dissolution of the marriage. The divorce was finalized 30 days later, and the couple's assets were divided. As for the runaway bride incident,
this article is way too in their business.
I really hope that they never come. Like, when you think about it, this is a regular person.
Listeners.
This is a regular person.
This is a regular person.
And so the fact they went this deep on like a regular person is wild.
They can get in all of our shit.
Mm-hmm. That's too much.
That's too much.
Even as I was
Especially
reading
the other guy, he wasn't even there from the runaway bride thing. He just showed up later.
Yeah.
He showed up later, and then you know what? He didn't run away. He filed for divorce like a man.
Mm-hmm.
He walked up to her and said, "I'm done."
Yeah. This is going to be hard, but I'm going to say it to your face and save you the trouble of thinking I've been kidnapped.
Look, I'm not even wearing shoes, so you don't think I'm going to run anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Barefoot telling you to your face, this isn't working between us. Yeah. Shame, man.
What is?
The, I can kind of, for years... I've only thought about this thing 3 times in life. One, when it was happening.
This specific story.
One, when it was happening. Once, maybe in college when somebody mentioned it, because we were all kind of like, oh yeah, whatever happened with that, right? Mm-hmm. And right now. And
and I'd say that's one more than I've thought of it.
Yeah.
I didn't have the time in college.
Even thinking about it now, I can honestly say, I feel bad for anyone that feels the need to just escape. Yeah. Just not deal with the thing and escape. But the way that you go about it is it's so I don't know if there's a different scenario that plays out. Unless they found you in Albuquerque and you were like, well, they murdered me, so I can't go back. I'm dead. You're seeing a ghost right now. The fact that
that'd be a bold move if someone showed up aren't you that run up and you ooh,
yeah,
avenge me. Yeah,
because I don't know if you remember this, but they went on a wild goose chase for those 2 people for a little while.
I mean, I'm assuming. I don't really remember the story that well.
Yeah.
But.
So you can't. Oof.
Well, and it does really depend, obviously, on the whole story. There's, it depends why she was running away. Was it, an abusive situation, something, blah, blah. But then you do hear about people running away. I didn't mean to blah, 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 something that heavy. But I just meant that right there, obviously, sometimes you don't know what to do, right? So you just panic. You're like, I've gotten too close. I got to get out of here. Mm-hmm. But you do hear stories about people who do it. And it's they just kind of decided last minute, I don't think I want to. And it's not they were held hostage. It was just they didn't check in really with themselves until right before. That always fascinates me.
Yeah, because
of how you could be so I don't know, out of touch with yourself and then suddenly be like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly.
Because then you do, and then on the other end too, you do have another person who's just what happened?
Yeah, yeah.
Where'd they go?
And also it's that is the thing that sucks about that, is that it's even to what you said of now people are gonna maybe question you and be like, "Were you
Exactly.
doing something to them?" And it's like, "Nah,
Yeah.
I was not doing anything.
Yeah.
I was letting them plan a wedding they clearly didn't want."
I was just loving them and supporting them and hoping they were going to be near me.
Yeah, like that. Like
If that again, we don't know the full story
don't.
in that way.
We don't.
I mean, we might. People seems to have their fucking financial records.
Look.
I feel like if that was part of it, it'd been in there.
I will say, if this dude that she ran from is in any way a bad man, there have been multiple years and opportunities and distance to be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I was just running from him. That
Yeah.
I think people would like identify with way more.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I mean-
you could understand that.
And
as
there's
a
no
story,
reason to not throw him under the bus. You have national like attention, and you still made up that a Latino man kidnapped you.
Yeah, still had to go and blame someone else. Had to go blame a brown man is what you had to go to.
It was just it's very like Julianne Moore was in a movie exactly like this, except she lost a kid. Like her kid went missing. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And she was
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, I think somebody black took him." Do you remember this?
Oh.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I went to a different Julianne Moore missing kid movie.
No, she got like 3.
No, I know. The one you brought up was Freedom Land.
Yeah, so there's
right?
Freedom Land,
which is based on a true story.
Yeah.
I went with The Forgotten, which is where aliens take the kid, like erase him from existence.
Yeah.
And I had a quick second of really trying to remember, was there a scene in that movie where Julianne Moore was just like, nah, some black guy took my kid.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what kid? Because they disappeared him from existence. And if that movie took that hard of a racial turn, whoa,
Yeah.
we'd still be talking about it today.
It's like I feel like her and Jodie Foster cannot keep a hold of a kid in a movie.
Yeah, between the two of them.
It's just always some distress. Just like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? They were just. There's nothing that I love more than like a movie night in, and you're just chilling, but someone is screaming, "Where's my family?" You know what I mean? Like someone
on the TV, I'm hoping you mean.
Yeah. Someone on the TV is just grabbing people, and they're like, "My family, you've met them. Why can't anyone tell me where my family is?"
Oh, if you remember the movie Ransom, the Mel Gibson movie. Oh, you don't remember that one? Oh, okay. Well, it's just his son gets taken, but it has one of the best lines to just yell. It's very pleasing to yell. Just go, "Give me back my son!" It's so pleasing to just shout.
Did you ever see?
Try it. Give me back my son right now.
Give me back my son.
Come on.
Nah,
now.
I don't want him.
You didn't even try, you coward.
I don't want him. I really love the Halle Berry
By the
movie.
way, feel free to leave 5-star reviews that just says, "Give me back my son." It's my terrible call to action.
Did you ever see the trailer for that Halle Berry movie where she like? I guess she works at. I'm mixing up Halle Berry movies now, but I think she works at a crisis center. But then someone kidnaps her kid.
Catwoman? I don't know if I think you're mixing up too, because I think the one in the crisis center, it's not someone takes her kid. I think someone gets her on hold, and like there's someone who's being kidnapped.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so she does. I don't. Is that called Crisis? I'm not sure what that's called.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but
I have no idea.
The thing that's very funny in that trailer is like Sally and I laugh about it all the time, where she corners one of the people and she's like, "You took the wrong."